Hey, good morning. Happy Monday, August 22. Wow. So what's going on? Well, last week, the Chicago Cubs catcher, Wilson Contreras, got into a discussion with a couple of Washington National fans. And it appears those fans have now been banned from Washington National games for the next 5 years. 5 years. Wonder what must have been said. Chicago Sky, a great known secret here in Chicago. They are now in the finals for the WNBA. Good luck, Sky. Maybe you can make it 2 years in a row that you can win their championship. The other thing is, President Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act. Looked a little bit at it, and it seems like it has some good things for people who are diabetics and whatnot. But, they didn't ask me my opinion and what really works for my clientele here. So if it doesn't work again,
hang up and try again.
It's not my fault. Anyway, let's get to today's topic. So the topic of what have I learned the last 30 years of owning my own business? An area that I think was a big surprise to me, as well as a lot of you who own your own business, was the cost associated with owning your own business. For example, rent and utilities. Well, that's kind of an easy one. I pay office rent, and there's gas, electric, water, taxes in many cases here, internet cost. Those things you kind of expect, but didn't expect the cost to be as much as they actually are. And I think I may have a reasonably good deal because I've been in my office now here going on 5 years. The other thing that has been news to me, and we all know advertising. Boy, advertising costs are expensive, and it's amazing how many people out there provide tremendous services for advertising until they actually do the work. The other thing with advertising is over the last 30 years, when I started, the advertising today is very different from the advertising 30 years ago. Advertising 30 years ago flat out doesn't work today. Most of advertising needs to be done on social media, part of the reason for these videos. To say we're going to bulk mailers, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. It used to work. In fact, that's really how I got my start in the insurance business, with bulk mail. Another unexpected cost for me was the legal cost of documenting. Document. Whether you're storing documents such as applications, correspondence, or a lot of times when you and I are talking on the phone, you hear me typing away. It's because I'm documenting our conversation. And those documents are time-stamped. I never expected to do the documenting that I find myself doing today. And of course, there's always the good old IRS, right? The time I spend on getting prepared for my annual tax return, once again going back to documenting my expenses and all, and the cost that the IRS hits me for my taxes. I never expected that. In fact, when I first started the business, I got a check-in. I don't remember the exact amount it was. It came in, and I put it on the desk, and my wife goes, "Oh, look at all the money!" And I said, "Don't touch it," because you know how much money we owe the IRS off of that check? And it's more than what you owe off of your paycheck for those who get a paycheck. So I've been surprised by how much I actually have to pay in taxes. And they always say, if the government could get out of the way. Well, in my business, I wish the government could get out of the way, because the government is probably my greatest hindrance in being able to do business. The amount of government regulations that have been imposed upon me in the last, and people like me in the industry, not specifically Mark Dupre, have been imposed upon us, really hinder our ability to do business, to be able to sell into service to you who need the services. So that has been a real big surprise. Right now, we're preparing for open enrollment, and the certification for the marketplace just opened this week, and I looked at all the list of things I have to accomplish. So I'll probably be spending the next couple of weeks just trying to get my certification for next year for the marketplace. It'll happen. It's just that during this time of the year, really the summer when we get this stuff done, I don't spend much time selling and servicing as much as I do preparing to be able to sell and service for the next year. So, you know, with the government intervention in the business, some of it's good. I've got to be honest about that, but most of it is very short-sighted. They've manufactured the problems that we now have and all, which is why you hear me complain and not like politicians, no matter what side of the aisle that they're on. And a lot of you who've come into my office, I used to tell you when you complain to me about it, write to Dick Durbin, write to the local congressperson. You know, let your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard when you go to the ballot box. Don't accept the garbage that they've given us with the Affordable Care Act. And the reason I call it garbage is because deductibles are too high, premiums are too high, out-of-pockets are too high. But it's kind of like going to a party here and it costs you $1,000 to get in, and you get a tiny little 4-ounce glass of something to drink and then a little sliver of pie. That's kind of what the government has done. Oh, and we're thankful for it. Anyway, those are some of the things I've learned in the last 30 years of owning the MLD agency. Hey, Mark, what's going on at the MLD agency? Well, I've been gone. Went down to Florida. And for the first time, I got to meet in person my representative with the AmeriLife Marketing Group. The AmeriLife Marketing Group represents companies like Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, and AARP for the MLD agency. And you can see that Dave and I had a wonderful meeting looking out over St. Petersburg. So, Dave, if you're watching this, hey, Dave, thank you very much. And all. The other thing that's going on here is still working with a couple of groups for their health insurance, renewing another group right here, and was able to pick up a dental and vision policy this week, even though I've been kind of gone. So that's what's happening here. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. It's coming to an end really quick. Wow.